Lin Yu, help me, Lai begged, but she flourished her blade and stood firm. I've got my hands full at the moment, she said, her light growing brighter by the moment. Towdy seemed offended by the shining light of Lin Yu, but I was surprised when I noticed the odd beast seemed to be sniffing the air, its nostrils gently rising and falling as it started looking around for the source of the scent. In an instant, Towdy sank back into the darkness. Lai looked about for him in horror, but Lin Yu turned back and looked beyond Lai and I. I trailed her eyes and saw Towdy, looming tall right beside us in the darkness. I immediately made distance and took up a defensive stance, not sure what the creature was up to. Lai watched me go before looking over where Lin Yu and I were staring, to then jump up and scramble away in terror, hiding behind his own daughter. Zhao carefully stepped closer to me, and he was doing something with his eye patch, but I was too focused on Towdy to see what right then. I guided him with a push and said, "Stay behind me." Towdy was sniffing the ground near the white tree and looked up when Liu arrived with Ren not far behind. She looked like she'd gotten the hell kicked out of her, but she was dragging herself after Liu just the same. Liu set down the 4 jars and immediately looked to his father, shouting, "Which jar did you need, father?" Lai jumped with surprise, seeming he hadn't even noticed his son's arrival. Lai pointed to the largest one and Liu picked it back up, but hesitated as Ren approached and made ready to open the other jars. Lai pointed from one jar to the tree and said, "Bring it to the..." before he stopped cold. When he stopped, I noticed a quiet laughter. It was raspy, unhinged and slow, but I noticed that no one here was laughing. I looked back to Towdy to find him reaching his head down toward the ground, and that was where I found the source of the sound. The woman's face etched into the dirt. She was the one laughing. Towdy reached down and took a cautious bite of the dirt, and the woman's laugh grew louder, more maniacal, and even more threatening than before. Suddenly, the entire tree moved as fluidly as a hand and latched onto Towdy, a bright purple light outshining Lin Yu as it overpowered him and forced the beast to his knees. I was horrified to see the woman's mouth and Towdy move in unison, as 1,000 voices said, "The jar," through them. Liu was frozen holding the jar, as the bright light blinded us all. General Lai started toward his son and said, "What are you waiting for? Do it!" The bulky man fumbled with the keys as his shaky hands tried to stop him, but he overcame his reservations with a grimace and inserted the key into the lock. I gulped hard, not sure what I should do. Liu opened the jar and a scroll immediately flew from it of its own accord before getting snatched by a bending branch of the white tree.